Daniel 9 verse 24, KJV. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Daniel 9 verse 25, KJV. 25 Know therefore and understand, that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. Daniel 9 verse 26, Amp. 26 And after the 62 weeks of years, shall the anointed one be cut off or killed, and shall have nothing and no one, belonging to and defending him. And the people of the other prince, who will come will destroy the city and the sanctuary. Its end shall come with a flood, and even to the end there shall be war, and desolations are decreed. Combined, this totals 69 weeks, which equals 483 years. Many theologians interpret this timeline as spanning from the issuance of the decree to the public ministry and eventual crucifixion of Jesus Christ. This is the end of the 69th week. God's clock stops at the end of the 69th week, and the church age will now begin, and last for around 2,000 years. This time period will be the time God will allow the Gentile people to join the Jewish people. At the end of the church age with the rapture, God's clock will begin to tick again, and the tribulation period will begin. This is Daniel's 70th week. The church does not go through the tribulation. The 70th week, as described in Daniel 9 verse 27, is the final week, or 7-year period in the prophecy of Daniel's 70 weeks. It is often associated with the future time of Great Tribulation and is pivotal in biblical eschatology. Here's an overview. The covenant. The 70th week begins with the confirmation of a covenant. Many interpret this as a peace agreement made by the Antichrist with Israel and possibly other nations. Midpoint break of the covenant. After 3.5 years, the covenant is broken. Daniel 9 verse 27 speaks of an event often referred to as the abomination of desolation, where sacrifices cease and something abominable occurs in the holy place, likely the temple. This event is also echoed in Matthew 24 verse 15 and 2 Thessalonians 2 verses 3-4. Great Tribulation. The latter half of this week, 3.5 years, is seen as the most intense time of tribulation, marked by unprecedented suffering and divine judgments as described in Revelation 6-19. End of the week. At the conclusion of the 70th week, it is believed that Jesus Christ will return to establish his kingdom, fulfilling God's promises to Israel and bringing judgment and restoration to the world. The second coming of Jesus Christ is a central and hope-filled belief in Christianity, often described as the culmination of God's plan for humanity and the world. It is mentioned throughout the Bible, with vivid imagery and prophetic significance. Here's an overview. The second coming refers to Jesus' return to earth in glory and power, as prophesied in both the Old and New Testaments. Unlike his first coming, where he came as a humble servant, his second coming is portrayed as a victorious king and judge. Matthew 24 verses 30-31 describes Jesus coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, gathering his elect. Revelation 19 verses 11-16 speaks of him as a rider on a white horse, called Faithful and True, bringing judgment and righteousness. Acts 1 verse 11 recounts the angels telling the disciples that Jesus will return in the same way he ascended into heaven. Tribulation. The second coming is often linked to the end of a period of tribulation, as described in Revelation and Daniel. Battle of Armageddon. Many believe Jesus will return during or after this climactic battle between good and evil. Establishment of his kingdom. Upon his return, Jesus is expected to establish his millennial reign, Revelation 20 verses 4-6, a time of peace and justice. The timing of his return is a subject of much debate, e.g., premillennial, postmillennial, or amillennial views, but Jesus himself emphasized readiness and watchfulness in passages like Matthew 24 verses 36-44.